And we're recording. Laura, you kick it off. You kick it off.
All right. So we are so excited because this team is on fire. And we have been just noticing that there is such a strong foundation now in this team. When people come into the team, they know what to do to get started. And they take action and they learn the things that it takes. And so we have been trying to look for, okay, how can we keep helping people level up? And so we're no longer a team who's like trying to figure it out. This team is like on their way up. And so we're like, let's take the areas that we see that we could continue to grow and let's keep taking them to the next level. So that was our idea around this. And the one area, since our businesses are so heavily based on your presence on social media, we know that the better we all get. And I just want to caveat here for a minute and say this includes me and it includes Kelly. Like this is not a top-down training. Like when I do a social media audit, and we'll get into that later, of my stuff, I have room to improve, and so does Kelly. And this is going to be an area in your business that really you'll get to a place where you feel good about it, but there's literally always going to be room to improve because social media is always changing too. There's so many iterations. So this is going to be a powerful workshop for taking you from wherever you are with social media to a new level. And the goal is not for all of us to come out of this workshop in the same place. The goal is for us to come out of the workshop in a place where we can take ourselves to whatever our personal next level is. So I really hope that as we're going through the workshop, you don't find yourself in any sort of comparison mindset, but rather keep coming back to, okay, I'm not currently doing that. Like, oh, maybe that's something I want to add into my routine, right? Or like, oh, I never thought to do it that way. Let me try that, rather than like, oh, Kelly's so good at it, I wish I could do that. Like, if you're getting into that mindset at any moment, like you've got to shut that down and you've got to say to yourself, okay, what is the next step for me to get closer to that? And if what you're seeing from most of the examples are mine and Kelly's, just because we weren't going to put other people out there. But if you're seeing something on my example or Kelly's and you're like, I can't get there, just, you can. It might take time. Let us help you get closer, right? So Kelly, did you want to add anything before we get started?
No, I mean, in our day and age, in not even just COVID times, but now, social media is the place that we are meeting, quote unquote, our next client, our next coach. And so your social media is your storefront to your business. And so if your social media is drab or not exciting or not educational or not entertaining things, then that's your store. Your storefront isn't going to be booming. Your store isn't going to be booming. And so this is, like Laura said, this is in no way to say, oh, you're doing it all wrong. It's literally just to say, here's how we can adjust and here's how we can grow. I go back and look, and it's funny because I get my memories that pop up from 6-7 years ago on Facebook, and I cringe and I go, oh my God, because of how I used to post, the things that I used to do, because I didn't know any better. Like we all start there. And that's the thing, like we all start going, we don't really know how to do this because there's no manual. You don't go to school to be a Beachbody coach, right? And the one thing that Laura said too is like the fact that you're taking action is what's so, so important. Now we're going to refine that action so that you don't keep doing the same thing over and over again and then get so frustrated because nobody's coming to you or asking questions or joining you. And then you're like, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, I don't know how to coach. I don't know what to do. Well, we have to adjust and we have to, we have to change things up. So as we go through this today, know that this has been a journey for myself, for Laura, and for all of you it will be a journey as long as you're willing to go on that journey, as long as you're willing to continue to be coachable and to keep, failing forward, so to speak. All the things that I do, on social media are because I listen to somebody that's you more of an expert in the area of social media. I am in no way an expert learning every single day. Like, even when we were doing this presentation, I was like, oh crap, like, what did Brock Johnson say, or what should we, there's so much that we can learn about social media. But today we wanted to go back to the basics of how to first start showing up, to share your story authentically and what you have to offer.
So the first thing, and just so you know, we are envisioning this workshop will be like an hour and a half long. It might go over, it might go under, but just so you're kind of aware of what we're seeing, there's some different parts to it. But the first thing we want to start with is, do you know your things that make you uniquely you? When we post, it's so easy for us to turn in. I find when you start coaching, and those of us who've been doing it a while, it really does consume your life. Like, because you love it. It's like all you might think about. I know for me, like, it's the number one thing that I'm always like excited about, thinking about. I feel like my friends don't even want to hear about it. And it's like, it's all I think about though. And so sometimes when I have been asked to do this, particularly when I was first asked to do it, I literally was pretty paralyzed to even consider what things make me me, because all I really saw was my health and fitness stuff. Like, that was such a big part of my life. And what I've realized is that is not what people are attracted to about me. Like, even on my workout videos that I post, people don't give a crap about my work. They like to hear what I say, and it's normally something inspirational in there or something, or funny, or they laugh at me. But the actual working out crap, they don't care about. They are attracted to us based on our personalities. And so if the only personality that you're giving people is health, 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 it's not really that inviting and that exciting. It's not, let's face it, most people have a negative mindset about health. They don't see it as something engaging and fun and inviting. And so the way that we show up has to be more dynamic than just health. If you're only showing up as health, you're only going to attract the people who are real, like, health nuts. And honestly, a lot of the real health nuts probably are going to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that's totally true, but I'm just saying the way you present yourself is going to either attract people or not attract people. And the way you actually attract people is by being more than Beachbody. And so we want to really do a lot of thinking. And this was in the National Wake Up Call just last week, about this idea of, she called it a color wheel about yourself. And what are your things, right? What are your things that make you you? And she actually said, it was hilarious. One of her things that gets her tons of people, in case you didn't listen to the Wake Up Call, is faux flowers, like DIY faux flower crap on her porch. She does like planters, and this gets her so much engagement and so many conversations. And it literally has zero to do with Beachbody, nothing. And that, you've got to know, is much more powerful than posting about health and wellness all the time. And so we're going to, in a few minutes, go through what are your 5 things. But you've got to realize that if you're struggling to think about your 5 things, then you need to think about what you were before you started Beachbody. What were the things you were into then? Were you into chick flicks? Is that your jam? Is 80s music your thing? Do you want to go, like, is roller derby what you like to do? Like, what are your things that you enjoy? It does not have to be broad. just so you know, I've heard coaches who have made one of their things like peanut butter. Like they freaking love peanut butter and they will talk about it all the time. I know a coach who has even somehow made like White Claw. White Claw is somehow part of their brand. It's so crazy. So it doesn't have to be, when I'm saying this, it does not have to be broad. It has to be something that authentically is part of your life that you regularly interact with and do, and that you know, that doesn't feel like hard for you to be able to say something about it. Um, for me, these are the ones I do. So everyone should always have health and wellness and coaching, like those, and those are separate things. Talking about coaching and talking about your health, while there is a huge overlap, most of us talk about our health and wellness and we don't talk about coaching. And that is a huge missed opportunity we're going to talk more about. For me, oh, I'm a Christian, right? Like that's, my faith is huge for me. So that's a huge part of it. My mom life and my family life is huge. And then my other thing, honestly, is very much so like my just being good, putting positivity in the world. That's what I talk about a lot. Um, it's interesting teaching, while that's a big part of my life, I'm kind of not, I'm a good teacher. I'm a really good teacher and stuff, but it is not something that I passionately have things to say very often about. And I mean, you could say that it's a missed opportunity for me. Like you really could, because it's a huge market of people. And like, by the way, teachers make great coaches. So I always feel bad that I don't access that. But honestly, my things I'd say about teaching are mostly how I'm annoyed at other teachers that they're judgy and crap. Like I feel like I couldn't add that much value always in that scope. So I don't talk about it, even though it's a huge part of my life, and maybe that will change. I do have a home renovation coming up. I have a feeling that will become one of my pies for a while. Like that's going to be huge and relatable, and people, you know, have opinions. Holy crap, do people have opinion, right? And so your pie will change. Now I did Kelly's for her, so she might disagree with what I put as her pie. But for Kelly's, she's got the health and wellness and the coaching. I put White Claw and vodka are like one of her things. She's talked about co-parenting and second marriage stuff a lot at times. And then I can't see the fifth thing I even wrote. Oh, travel. So she definitely has talked about her travel experiences and how much that means. Now, I don't know that Kelly would agree that those are totally her five, but those are what I kind of like was like, yeah, I hear Kelly talk about this a lot. So you have got to know your five. So in a moment, we'll have you think of this, but before we do that, Kelly, do you want to add to about your five and finding your five?
Well, the one thing I want to say about finding your five and not just talking about health and wellness is when I remember when I used to think that my whole feed needed to be, you know, food, like what I was eating or my workouts, and it was so hard to, because you mean it is recommended you're posting. So posting on your page, like your storefront, not stories, not reels, but actually posts 2 to 3 times a day. 2 to 3 times a day is what it's recommended for you to post. Okay. I go with once a day, at least once a day right now to post. That's where my value, where I feel like I can consistently post once a day. But even then, it got so repetitive, so hard. How do you post every single day about your workout without saying day 2, yay, I got day 2, or whatever, as a post? Like, yes, that goes in my stories and I document every day to show consistency, that you have to show up for yourself daily to have results and create this healthy lifestyle. But in your post, in your storefront, you want it to be a smattering of the different things that make you you. And health and wellness, like Laura said, is one piece of that. I work out 30 minutes a day in 24-hour period. That is what, 2% of your entire day. 2% of what makes me me is my 30-minute workout. That should not be the only thing that I talk about. Okay. So I just, it is it's so important, like Laura said, I feel like I'm just keep saying that, like Laura said, because she's talking way, I'm like, she's talking more than I am today. Um, no, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my God, I'm not done with my energize. What did she say?
30 minutes is part of your workout. It's only a small part of your day.
Yeah, but I don't remember. Oh my God, I'm just going blank. Um,
I'm going to interrupt you for
yeah,
one
go,
second.
because it's
So,
gone.
so like doing the, so like obviously,
It's
you
gone.
know, we're leading the training today. Like when I do a social media audit of my recent social media, I'm not doing a good job right now of necessarily talking about all the things about me, right? And so like, that's why this is so important. You've got to know your things so that you can also go back and look, like, am I really talking about all of me? Or am I just talking about the health and wellness? Because that's the one that's for a lot of us, it feels natural to do that, to tie that in. Yeah. No.
Well, no, I was gonna say the problem, like, because in the beginning, when you just start sharing, like, you're so excited about coaching and you're so excited about how these programs and working out from home and the community has changed your life. And it's like, and you're like, this is so exciting. I just want to share every day. And then, how many times do we hear? And this is because other people, and we don't care what other people think, have a negative mindset around what we do. They go, oh my God, there she goes, posting her workouts again. Oh my God, there she goes, posting her meal again or her plate again. But when Laura shared about, not being able to afford her kids' summer camps, and that with coaching, she's trying to change her mind around financial and money and being able to afford these things, that is going to be like, oh my gosh, I have that same problem. I have that same fear, or I have those same worries. That's going to catch somebody, right? And then when the conversation starts about how she's earning this money, or how does she overcome that, she goes, oh well, I started working on my mindset as a coach. I started helping people on their health and wellness journey. I started earning an income. It breeds that conversation without even starting it based on health and wellness, or even coaching for that matter.
The other thing I'll say about that post I made the other day about the financial post, and by the way, everyone should be making those types of posts. It doesn't matter if your check was $14, like there's something that you get to do that you didn't get to do before because you have a little extra money, like period. What I will say is making those posts though, creates people who are rooting for me. And so when I send them an invite and they're not interested, they'll respond no instead of ghost me. And they'll say, but I'm excited for you, or whatever. Like, and when I'm working my business, even if they don't, let's face it, I don't love it when everyone messages me about businesses necessarily. Like, it's fine. People don't love it, but they can see what you're doing. And that like, I always talk about how I get to serve people. I literally use that wording a lot. And when you show up with that authenticity, and then when you drop in someone's DMs, they, at least if they're not interested, that's fine, but they see you as a human. And that's a big deal. So that getting to the point where they see you as a human doing this is really important. So what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to give, I don't know, how long do we think we need just to kind of think of our 5 things and then share them out?
5 to
What are
10.
what are you guys thinking?
Look at
Sandy's
Sandy,
got
our
hers
counselors.
as a color wheel. Will you guys let us know in the chat real quick, how long do you think you need to do this thinking? And we'll just kind of see where the group is, and then we'll take it from there. By the way, the first time I did this, it took me like 30 minutes to an hour. Like, obviously we're not going to take that long, but I want to see what different people are saying. Some people are like, I'm good.
Look at all these overachievers. I did mine while you guys were talking. Clearly you weren't paying attention to us, Michelle. I'm just kidding.
Kelly, there's different types of learners.
I know, I'm joking.
Okay, so why don't we give right now just like 5 minutes or so to go do that. If you are done, I want you to go look at your social media right now. And I want you to look through and analyze, how are you actually talking about those 5 things? So you have a purpose right now in these 5 minutes. If you're already done, you need to go to your social, and you can make little tallies or whatever, but go see how you're doing with these 5 things. Kelly, you go do yours too. I'm going to do mine. We're going to find out we suck.
What?
No, go do your social and see how you're talking about your 5 things.
I know.
My eyes suck at it. I know.
Don't tell me I suck. Jeez. Sensitive. I got the drinking one covered. And I even wasn't drinking for 3 weeks. Who is that?
That's me. That's my, every time I go by a video, it starts playing it.
Oh.
I have all those posts that I made about people in my group. I might be a little health coaching heavy right now.
I wrote drinking twice. That's sad. That's my 5 things. Oopsie.
So I had to combine some just to keep them in to 5. Like I did health and fitness coaching as one.
Nope. Nope. Those are 2 separate. Sorry, I'm gonna be. Nope.
Hey, Sandy, I love that you wrote that in the chat. And that is so easy to do on launches, where you go so hard that you feel like you overdid it. And I love that you're like, I'm resetting. That's so great that you like, to notice that is like means that you're like leveling up on your coaching. Love it.
It's funny that, Laura, that you put on mine the co-parenting second marriage stuff, which I used to talk more about, because I think
You don't talk about it much anymore.
I don't. But it was funny because you said that, about teaching and being such a huge market. And for me, being a step parent is a huge, huge market. But I can't give any advice because my stepchildren hate me and we don't even ever see them. And it's like they're non-existent in our lives pretty much. And which is really, really hard. It was really hard to the other way too. But and so that always reminds me that like there's this huge market out there, but I can't even speak to it because that's not my reality, right? And I have to be very careful about even co-parenting stuff, even though my ex and I co-parent really well and things, because I can't, we have a lot of mutual people that know each other, and I cannot post a lot about our old relationship or even him because of how that can come out. So there's things that might be part of what you want to share depending on your situation, and might not be something that can be part of your storefront, and that's okay. Those are I have those private conversations with people when I talk about, maybe I talk about divorce, but not in detail, or how, you know, reasons why, or things like that, or stepchildren. And then people that have stepchildren or have been divorced and
Yeah.
are trying it again, we have those private, I have a lot of private conversations about people that are in really unhappy marriages, and, you know, what does that look like? And we talk about taking care of themselves first. That's what I started once I, you know, and that's, so what I put as one of my 5 is, you know, being your number one priority in your mindset around taking care of you. And that's huge for me, because I never did that in as the old me. And
Right.
I
Right.
want moms especially to feel that they should be their number one priority.
Right.
And I only say moms because I feel like when you're a mom and you're in the thick of parenting, that's when it's easiest to put you on the back burner. When you're empty nesting, or you don't have a, you know, you don't have a kids yet or anything, it's like you still need to be your number one priority, but you don't have those same um excuses, if you will, of, you know, well, I have to take care of my kids, or I'm too busy because of my kids. You have you can make, anybody without kids right now can make other excuses. But as a mom, that's when I started coaching, and when it was the most important to take care of me. That's why my team name is Fit to Love, because you have to be fit mentally, physically, emotionally, to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
I will say on the national wake up call, and this, I can say this with great authenticity. This has iterations. So like the 5 you right now might not be the same 5 in a year.
Right.
Like, and the way that the things that you're passionate about change over time. And like, you're not tied to these 5, they're the 5 you're seeing right now. So I'd like to take just like 5 minutes so that we keep moving. But is there anyone who would like to share either what you saw in your audit, if you just look through? So like, how are you doing on your 5? I will tell you, I'm way too heavy on my health stuff personally. Like that's what I saw. And so I'm going to work on that. But what did you see for you? Or what are your 5? Or if you're like, this is really hard, like share with us what's going on so we can give you some advice. So
And you
put
can
in the
just
chat.
oh, you want to do it in the chat?
No, put in the chat if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess we can just unmute if you want to talk. That's all. Yeah.
Can I go?
Yep.
Okay, so my 5 are health and fitness, coaching, family and pets, because my pets are family. I am including that in one, Kelly.
That's fine. That's fine. That's allowed.
Crafter and finance / accounting / investor.
What was your
Those are my 5.
said before that?
Finance, accounting, investing type of
No,
stuff.
the one before that.
Oh, crafter.
Crafter. I was like, what?
I used to be just a knitter, but now I'm a craft whore. So
I love it. Those are great, Michelle. And that can attract a lot of different people, which is amazing.
So how did you feel like when you looked at your storefront, that it shared?
it's terrible.
Well, no,
Like,
what were you heavy on? Where were you? Because
I'm heavy on the health and fitness.
okay.
That's kind of all it's been for a while, with the exception of like little snippets of my YouTube channel with my husband,
Okay.
which is so fun.
Yay. All right. Who else would like to share? What are your 5 things? What are you seeing? Go for it, Sandy.
Well, I put Beachbody down just because that's the coaching and the health and wellness, because I only had 4 left after that. So I put gardening, pets, sewing, but I'm probably more in line with crafting. like Michelle is. And then I go watching detective shows and reading detective novels.
Good.
So
Sandy, the only thing I heard you say that I want you to change is I want you to not combine the health and wellness and the coaching into one, because otherwise people forget to ever post about coaching.
yeah,
You have to see talking about coaching as a separate conversation than talking about your health and wellness, because the majority of people will never talk about coaching. And for you to build your business, you have to talk about coaching. Does that make sense?
yeah.
So keep those as separate things, but yeah, that's like awesome variety. I love it. Love it. And I feel like those are really good for your, like, the phase of life you're in. Like, I love that too. You know what I mean?
Well, I also put up at the top, because they didn't have pies for it, so I need maybe an 8 pie chart. Road trips and genealogy, are big on my list. So,
Yeah. I think that's awesome.
but how do you post about genealogy? I mean,
Well,
hey, I
it's-
found another dead relative.
so I think, and that's a great question, because I think, there's so many more things to my life than the 5 things, especially alcohol. Like, I feel embarrassed that that's one of my 5 things, but that is like, I like it because I share it to show that you can be healthy and still enjoy yourself and that's why I post, about alcohol, and I love to not party, but have fun and with my friends and whatever. So I think, some of those other things, those are things that we still talk about in our stories and, showcase, like maybe Sandy, you're sitting at home one night and you're doing your genealogy research, or you're doing something. And so you might make a story about that and be like, this is something that I love to do and it's super cool. Have you ever researched or looked into your genealogy? And you put one of those engagement gifts, or not gifts, but stickers in your story to get people engaging with you if they've so it doesn't always have to be a post on your storefront. And on the other side of that, you can always go outside those 5 things, every once in a while on your storefront, just to bring engagement and share a little bit more about you. You just want to keep to the 5 things that really feel like you could connect with a bigger audience, right? Like, there's a ton of crafters, there's a ton of sewers. Gardening is huge, right? I don't do it, would never connect. I'd be like, oh, your garden's so pretty, I ain't doing that shit. Like, I don't like it, doesn't connect with me in no way, shape, or form. But I love to see that there are so many people out there that garden and do all that stuff. So think of the things that, I love detective shows. Like, that would totally, Law and Order SVU. Remember the girl with the really pretty red curly hair, I can't remember what her name was, that was on our team call a while back. Her thing, literally all she talks about is her curly red hair. Like, and she has so many
Curly
followers.
fit mom. Curly fit mom. Yeah, she's awesome.
Like, that's all she talks about, right? And so it's not to say that you can't talk about more than 5 things, but find other ways to showcase parts of you that could spike or spark engagement,
Right.
and people can with you.
I'd like to have one more person share. So is there one more person who's wanting to share their 5 things?
I will.
Okay, go for it, Lori.
Well, health and fitness, or health and wellness, coaching, and life outdoor adventures.
Mhm.
And then a huge thing that's you see all the time is positivity, kindness, joy, peace. And then I think I kind of struggled with the last one, senior fitness. But I don't know if that would just be encompassed in the health and wellness, or be in a snowbird life. I mean, or Arizona life. I don't know, life on the road. I struggle with the 5th one. And the other part is my pets, my dogs is a huge part of my life. So
I would say that the senior fitness is in your health and wellness.
okay.
So I would see that still in the health and
Okay.
wellness, because if you make it another part of your pie, then what the perception will be to others is that that's another fitness post, right?
Gotcha.
And so I do think that you want to mix that up. But I think that you have like good content there, right? With your other things. And then did you say your RV stuff? Because I always feel like your RV stuff is magical.
That's my Life Outdoor Adventures RV life.
Okay. Yeah, well, because so like to me, RV life could like literally be its own. And then I see you do like, I see your other outdoor stuff. And like, so
Okay.
to me, you could separate those out.
I agree.
And they're,
The snowbird, like the fact that you live in two different places, because a lot of people in your season of life do that, right? My parents do that. Like, so I
Mhm.
think that's separate because you know, you golf, you hike, that's all outdoor living in my opinion. And then the snowbird is separate, like how, you know,
right.
Okay, so the Life Outdoor Adventures is separate from the Snowbird life?
I
say that
think
again,
so.
sorry.
Okay,
I think so. So,
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to say, like, obviously everyone doesn't get to share every time, but we can mix it up over the course of the workshop, who's getting to share. If you're dying to share your 5 though, or actually I'd like it if people just put it in the chat real quick. I am curious to see the variety of everyone's 5. So if you could just write your 5 in the chat and we'll see everyone's. And then if you're like, if you need your upline coach to help you with this, or if you need, you know, even if we're not your upline, like we can always help you more outside of this workshop. By the way, this is when I teach on Zoom. This is the hardest part, waiting for people to type things. It literally kills me. At least I know you guys are actually doing the task. Kids, I'm like, are they there? Are they doing it? Hey, Sarah said football as a close runner up. Sarah, football can be your thing for the fall, right? Like it can be in your bubble in the fall, and then in the not fall, it's out of it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you and your hot sauce. Erin's like got a hot sauce thing.
Oh my gosh, my husband would die. You should see my cupboards of hot sauces. Like it's insanity. That would be one of his 5 things, would be hot sauce. Like no joke. It's insane. And I don't even like hot things. Lori, what's furball? Furball. 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 Lori's playing a new sport called
Yes.
furball. Football shit? Okay, football shit. We went from furball to football shit.
Kisa, those are great. Yeah, Michelle, 90s music. That's great. All right, I'm gonna move us on. If you're still typing, that's fine. Like I know everybody would still want to see what you had to say. The next part.
I was gonna say the other thing that you should put in there as Laura starts talking is on a scale of 1 to 5. Scale of 1 to 5. 1 being not so great, and 5 being I'm slaying the game. How would you rate your storefront on those 5 things? Just give yourself a rating, 1 to 5. 5 being best. What, Laura?
Nothing.
Okay. And this is just only to see where your starting point is and where you can improve, right? Not to make anybody feel. Oh my God, I almost burped out loud, but then I forgot I was on a call.
The other day I was leaving a voice message for someone and Josh is like, "Eh." I'm like, really? Like that's the background noise on my voice message to someone. I'm like, thanks, hon. Thanks.
I have a quick question. Is
Oh,
this
okay.
the same link for the live workout? Are we gonna have people jumping on?
Yes, it is the same link. I think we could say hi and we could put them into a breakout room with anyone who comes, or we could say, we're doing a workshop. Do you want to come in?
I know Kisa goes into the Sunrise Squad and goes, who's working out in an hour? I'm like, not
I
me.
thought this was only gonna be an hour, so I will be cutting off to get my workout in, because I gotta get it in that time frame.
You go, girl, you do you.
I'm just saying. I didn't know it was gonna be an hour and a half. I bet it's 2 hours. I'm just saying.
Hey,
It will be worth it. Whatever it is, it'll be worth it.
It's all getting recorded though, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
and oh, Erin had a good point. So Erin says, I feel like my Facebook is more balanced than my IG. My IG is a 1. So, and we should say this, some people, you know, are more Facebook posters or Instagram. Maybe you're just starting your Instagram page or whatever. So they can essentially go for either Facebook or Instagram, wherever you feel more comfortable posting at this point. Laura used to be way more heavy on Facebook, and now she's actually really transitioned to Instagram, so she can speak more to her Instagram. But before, she was all Facebook, right? And I definitely am way more Instagram heavy than Facebook. So that's a great you know, point that you brought up. And it's really where you're most comfortable. I know people that are hugely successful on Facebook, have no presence on Instagram or barely any, or just starting, and they're still hugely successful. So you get to decide which platform you want to show up on and put in the work. What I think is super cool is when you share to Instagram, you can automatically share it to Facebook. It doesn't go the other direction. So, you know, if you start using Instagram, it will automatically go to Facebook, so you can keep the 2 audiences. But you can start building your brand on Instagram as well. But great point. You can interchangeably use Facebook or Instagram, whatever one you feel more comfortable right now sharing on. Okay, go Laura. Sorry.
Okay, so the next thing we want to transition to, so you have your 5 things, right? Now, when you post, there should be a purpose to what you post, even within those 5 things. Your purpose of every post is either to educate people about something, to inspire people about something, or to entertain people. And I will tell you that when I audit my posts, there's so much overlap, right? Like I would say a lot of my inspiration is also education. I would say a lot of my entertainment has some inspiration to it. Like there's overlap. So don't get, this would be real easy to get caught in the minutia here, but just generally think about what your purpose is. So my purpose for making this post about summer camps was because I was educating people about coaching can change your life. That was my actual intention. Now, is that what they took from it? I don't know, right? Like there's all kinds of things. Like I think some people might be inspired by that, right? And I think some people might, like I think I'll get a lot of people who like me more, like are rallying for me because of that. Like there's other results, but my purpose was to educate people that this coaching thing can make enough money that I'm able to change my life story in finances. That was the purpose of that. The Diet Coke. So by the way, guys, I have broken up. Like I don't know if we'll stay broken up forever, but I have not had Diet Coke. I've had like a couple sips, but I have not had Diet Coke since I did the reset. So, but I shared about breaking up with Diet Coke. My big reason there was because I know there's a lot of people who drink Diet Coke. Like I know that's a thing that a lot of people do want to let go of. So my intention when I posted that was to be inspirational. Now, it was actually a funny post. Like there's a lot of humor in it and stuff. Like you could say there's some entertainment going on there, right? However, my purpose was to inspire people. In the last one, that when I consider entertainment, and I would say like Kelly does entertainment very different than I do entertainment, but like that last one was me showing up as a mom, like, and just showing like that, you know, it was the first warm day or what, I guess I didn't write that, but like it's warm out, I'm going to treat my kids to ice cream, and showing this other side you know, and that post, like of all these posts, well, these all got a lot of engagement, but the one with my kids, of course, got big engagement, right? Like, which is great. I love big engagement posts because all those people are going into my invites. Like, it is amazing if I make a post about something that's non-related to health and fitness, and it gets a lot of people, because it normally will get people who normally don't like my health and fitness stuff. And so it gets me more people in my net of people I can talk to. These are 3 posts of Kelly. I'll let her real quick. And Kelly might not agree. Like, I organized these, so she might disagree with where I put them, which is fine. She can say that. But these are 3 of hers that would fall in these categories.
So, I didn't send you that one. Did you take that one?
Yeah, I did all this stuff.
Um,
All this stuff, but you'll see. I have your stuff.
So, okay. So the first one, and so how I look at education, and this can be, and you can educate people on all of the areas of your 5 things. So it doesn't have to be about health and wellness. It doesn't have to be about food or fitness. It can be, you can do an educational post about gardening. You can do an educational post about, you know, what are your tips for getting on the road to travel cross country? You know, when you're what is it called? Snowbird, you know, whatever. You can do top tips, you know, meal prepping or cooking, you know, whatever. Like, education can be a myriad of different things where you're just freely giving somebody value and information that might help them in some way. And so, I don't know, I guess I don't know if the one that Laura posted for education would really be education for me, but I definitely, the post was necessarily about, you know, how my mindset around, you know, how I stopped eating bananas because I saw somebody say that bananas were too high in carbs and sugar and all of these other things if you're wanting to have this certain diet. And I was like, I love bananas. And I literally stopped eating bananas because somebody said I shouldn't eat bananas, instead of just going, it's a freaking fruit. I can have a banana, like, that's not going to kill my diet. It's not going to kill me. And nobody ever died after having bananas, you know. So that was the point of that, just talking about my mindset and how, you know, I was so concerned about losing weight and a diet, and I let it control, you know, giving up something that I loved. The middle one, obviously, you know, sharing your before and after, or your progress photos, as I like to call it, is definitely inspiring for a lot of people. We know that that as coaches, people love, or in the health and wellness field, people love to see before and afters, so to speak. And they want to see that somebody got results from doing something. But we also know that there's a lot of people that are naysayers, and they are like, oh, they must have done, you know, something crazy or whatever. And so with those before and after stories, we have to tell, or before and after pictures, we have to tell a story. We have to inspire people to want to make a change, right? And so, you know, those are always going to get a ton of likes, a ton of engagement, if you will. Doesn't mean people are going to join you, but anytime somebody likes or comments on a before and after post, those are people that I can reach out to. They are inspired by what I did. Now I have to engage them to see if I can inspire them to make a change in their own
I've
life.
seen Kelly talk about this.
You're not muted.
That I know. I'm not. She just told me I'm not muted. That jerk. I forgot to mute myself.
And then, and I kind of forgot, this is one of my 5, is humor. Like, and so I love to make people laugh. Like, when I'm uncomfortable, I want to make people laugh. That's my, you know, one of my things. And so my entertainment, I love doing funny quotes. I love, you know, doing funny reels or whatever. So my entertainment most of the time has nothing to do with health and wellness, right? It has a lot to do with drinking a lot of times. It has a lot to do with swear words or different things, you know, and that's just how I like to entertain. I get a ton, like the quote I did yesterday about getting my first shot, and I'll have my second one as soon as the waitress comes back. You know, I have over 500 likes on that, you know, on that quote. And these are people that are coming to my page because I share it to my stories, and I use hashtags that aren't even following me, right? I get the most engagement in people that aren't even following me on those funny quotes. Now, the difference is when you get those people coming to your page, you also have to continue to provide amazing content to keep them coming back. Things that they want to see, education, inspiration, more entertainment, more you, so that they keep coming back. But education, inspiration, and entertainment are the 3 areas that we want to be. We're giving value. We are freely giving people value every single day to improve their lives, to hopefully let them get to know us, and then they'll want to join us.
So I only use a personal Facebook page,
Oh.
and I forget what my page is on Instagram. So it's whatever Kisa wrote or Kelly. The business pages on Facebook are like pointless. Like they crush your reach on it. So I wouldn't even worry about that. You do need your stuff to be public. If you're not publicly posting, like it's a very small realm of people you'd get. Sarah, I know you mentioned that you're terrified to share what your body looks like. And I think that's fair. I think most people can relate to that. And that is something that you are going to talk about. Like, we're not going to tell you when you have to post your before and after pictures. You get to choose that. You could literally put up a picture of your body with boxes over the parts you don't like. And you could say, I want to share this, but I can't yet. Like, I don't feel good enough about this area, but I'm going to get there. Like it gets to be the story you want to tell. It's not that you have to do it the same way Kelly does, the same way I do, the same way. Like, that's an amazing post. That's an amazing thing to say to people. I don't like these before pictures scare me. Like, do you know how relatable that is?
You also don't have to do before pictures or after pictures in your sports bra and booty shorts or a swimsuit, right. Or, there's so many, like, how many times do people find photos, like an old photo from 5 years ago, and they're fully clothed and they're like, I had to go digging for photos because I never took photos of myself because I hated the way I look. But now I can take a photo and you're fully dressed, but there you can see the difference in your eyes, in your smile, in your body, in the way that your clothes fit or whatever. Like, you don't have to have that. This is more for me to see, because I want to see those subtle changes, because they are sometimes more subtle. There's not these big, huge changes. That's for me. And I always tell people to take those kinds of photos for themselves, because we don't always see those changes. When I'm in fully dressed, I'm like, dang, I look good. And then I take my clothes off and I'm like, oh, so, but that's me thinking that way. And so it's like, I need to be able to see the changes and the difference, because that's what keeps my mind going right now, to continue to keep going, keep eating well, keep working out, and those things, to see those real changes. But you don't have to do what we are doing. This is your journey. Yes.
And that's another area that I just would encourage you to stay open-minded over time. Like, I got to tell you, I love my before picture now. I love it because I get to see how far I came. And so having that before picture, while at the time, I mean, I called myself a snowman. I literally felt like the rolls around my belly looked like a snowman. I would say it all the time. Like, I would say really negative stuff about myself. And now, I look back and I see the woman in that picture very differently now than I did then too. And so just stay open-minded. You might at some point be like, no, I want to share that. Like, you might actually flip from like, I don't want to share this to like, no, I want to share this because I need the world to understand how this journey has worked. And I need them to really see what I saw. Do you know what I mean? And so it's where you are now is okay. And just don't put limitations on where you might go mindset wise. Yeah, Kelly.
I was going to say something. I have to laugh because, and this is where that mindset transformation is so huge, because I, just a few months ago when I was eating like an asshole and drinking like an asshole during COVID and things, and I gained 10 to 15 pounds, and, I don't even actually know what I gained, and where I was like, in January, I'm like, I have to get this under control again. Like, I don't feel good about myself. And I go look at those photos, like the before photos. And then I'm like, because in my mind, I looked horrible. I looked so gross. Like, I looked so different and I worked so hard to do. And then I go back and look at photos from when I thought I was so fit and so, whatever. And they're really not that different. They're really not that different than they were then, but it was all up here. It wasn't really the physical. I mean, there were some physical changes, obviously you can see, but it was more up here than it was anywhere else. And so having that visual goes, God, my brain is fucked up. Like, man, this is where I have to spend most of my time, right? So those pictures are really, really helpful as you go through your journey. But okay, I'm done.
So I do want to say, because this post is like, I've been doing more of these posts and I really enjoy the engagement I get on it. And I'd encourage you to do it. Like, posts where you just post a question that people will engage with has brought me a lot of joy and authentic conversations. And I would encourage you to start doing some of these sometimes. It's really been fun. So you can see, I just like literally will ask for advice, ask a question, ask an opinion. And those posts, people apparently want to share their thoughts. So I've gotten a lot of traction out of that. If that's not in your wheelhouse of a type of post to do, I would encourage you to once a week, do something like that. So you're welcome, Lori.
There's also a way to breadcrumb like new products that are coming out, new programs, a new boot camp with this type of post, like with questions, just asking a question that somehow is related to something. Like before Let's Get Up, or maybe when 645 comes out, a breadcrumb post could be, do you work out in the morning or do you work out in the afternoon? Do you work out at all? Because 645 is meant to be done in the morning, right? You get up and get your day going. You're working out in the morning.
Michelle, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Do you have a charger, girl?
But there's a way to do this strategically to also give information about something that's upcoming without giving information about, and figure out who could be somebody to go invite at a later date.
Right. All right. So I did this for Kelly and I. So again, Kelly might not agree, that's fine. But you should go audit your social media and see, and we're not going to have time for this. We're good. Just, this is a on your own time. Go see, how are you doing? Like, I do a lot of, I don't think I do all that much entertainment. Like, I really could up my entertainment game, right? Like, I do a lot of inspiration. I would say inspiration is like my number one, some education. Entertainment, I don't find my entertainment posts all that entertaining, if you want to know the truth. Like, I'm like, that could probably change, but it's okay. Like, if your whole page, if you went and looked and your entire thing is education, it's no big deal. Like, you haven't done it wrong. It just means like you see where you need to grow. And so, and Kelly, I didn't know why you put both of these. And so I left them both. I just kind of audited one of them. But notice, I will say Kelly and I both do have some variety. And if you don't have variety, you want to improve on it. That's all. Anything you want to add, or are you good?
Nope.
Okay.
I
all right.
Yeah, go ahead. I feel
Okay.
like I could do more education, like actual value, like giving people more education versus entertainment and inspiration. And so that's where I need to grow, I think.
Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to give you another work time to come up with your own chart like this. of what types of posts you could do. And so for me, remember, I was a Christian, so you'll type this in. I was a mom, wife, like, and I was like positive stuff, right? So positive. So for me, I could, if I'm typing about mom life, I could education wise teach how I schedule my kids' days, right? Or whatever. Like I could inspire people with my bedtime. I'm just making up stuff. Bedtime routine. I could entertain people at any moment with something Abby does. Like literally at any moment, I could write something that my kid does there. I could educate people about positivity with some sort of like, I don't know, like I saw Michelle Bogart one time do where she put like $5 in a book or something, or maybe $20 at a bookstore. Like that's cool. I could inspire people with a quote. I could, do you know what I mean? Like, so we want you to think about in these areas, what are some of the different types of posts? What are some of the different things you could talk about in these areas of your life, and where would it fit? Like for me, Mom Scouts, like, are you kidding me? I can totally talk about Mom Scouts and like make that fun. And so really want you to think about this in terms of your 3 extras, and then definitely in terms of coaching. So in every payday is an opportunity to talk about coaching. Inspiration about coaching. You can talk about this girl gang that we got going on and what it means to you. Entertainment. I mean, I think you can talk about anything Kelly does, and that would be entertain, you know, like my crazy coach does this. Whatever. I'm just trying to, and it doesn't have to be about Kelly, but I'm just saying, think about this area of your life, coaching. What are things that you could automatically talk about educating people about coaching, about how could you inspire them? How could you entertain them? The one that I don't need you to write anything in is the health and wellness. I think most of you have that one down.
Well,
I
and
want you to try.
but I think maybe you're wondering how you could educate people, you know, and so like meal prepping or a recipe or, you know, things. I think that's we would think that would be the easiest section, but not necessarily for everyone, right? Like how do you again show up and talk about health and wellness consistently without always just showing a sweaty selfie? There's so many other ways to talk about health and wellness without just a sweaty selfie. So maybe people are wondering about that.
So I guess Kelly is saying you can fill this out. I just think if this is easy to you, fill out the ones that are harder to you is what I'm trying to say. Think about what you could post. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Hold on a minute. Copy link. And if you are done, if you are on a computer, this will be easy for you. If you're not on a computer, you can just build your own. But there is the Google Slides that everyone can make their own slide. So it's already ready. You get on a slide and change the top of it. So I'll do the first one, just change it at the beginning to have your name. And then that's your slide. And then start typing your things. So we can all work at the same time on making ours. And then you can kind of go see what other people are writing and steal their ideas as well. So I can share my screen for anyone who needs to make the chart. So I see Erin's on slide 2. Lori's taking slide 3. And so let's give this like 7 minutes. Let's see what people come up with. That would be time, and we can see how this goes for people. So Sarah's on slide 4. Gerardo's on slide 5.
Oh, am I supposed to be doing this too?
Yep. Oh, and like I do Family Fun Friday every Friday. So like Family Life, that's one I can consistently do. Hey, Sandy, can you go to slide 8?
Why is it not letting me write?
I don't know. Is anyone else having a problem? No? It should let you write. What slide are you on?
I don't know.
I can't write either.
Can you not write in the chart?
I can't write in the chart. I was able to change, yeah, I was able to change my header, but not in the chart.
Oh, that's annoying. Okay,
And
well,
can
I
write in the
guess.
chart, but I can't write in the header. Weird.
I can't write in the chart either.
We'll do it on paper if you can't write in the chart.
Yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
The purpose is just for you to be. I see Aaron's able to write in both. I don't know. There's really no reason people shouldn't be able to, but
I'm writing in both, just no problem.
Yeah, you guys are smarter than I am. I
maybe
think.
if you double click on the chart, you'll get into it. That might be it. I have to double click to get into the chart.
Oh, somehow I'm on Sandy's now. What just happened? I'm done. I'm
Oh,
done.
that's so funny. It wasn't letting me type in the chart for a minute either, but then when I got on the word education, it let me type in it. So I don't know. Best of luck to everyone.
I'm out.
You aren't doing it,
I'm doing it in my head.
Kelly?
It wasn't working. And I
Yeah, I don't know why I can't type in the chart as easy either. There. Okay, I'm in. All right, can I stop sharing? Well, I'm gonna stop sharing. If anyone needs the chart, let me know. By the way, Kisa called it. It's gonna end up being 2 hours.
stop saying that.
It's 13 minutes from being an hour and a half, hon.
Yeah, no, but aren't we almost done?
We have the whole your story thing.
Oh. It is hard, and you don't have to fill it. We're not, you know, you don't have to fill it out in its entirety today, I don't think. I mean, I don't, because some people might need
No.
more time to think about it, and that's, you know, that's the point, is to get you thinking about these things, right? And so when you go, because I know that for me, a while back, it was even actually right now, I'm having this like I'm like, what do I post about today? Like, I don't know. I used to get inspiration when I would do my workouts. I'm not getting a lot of inspiration when I'm doing these let's get up workouts for whatever reason. And so some days I'm like, I don't know what to post about. And the point of this is to like give you some guidance, right? Like if somebody gives me a task and says, you need to do all of these things, I'm like, I'm on it. I'm going to do all those things, check the boxes when they're done. But if somebody says, hey, go do whatever you want, I'm like, no, I don't like that. I need a guideline of what to do. And so that this is supposed to be your guideline to help you. So when you go, you know, to post in a day and you're like, I don't know what to post, you go look at your storefront and go, what have I not talked about in a while? You know, what one of my 5 things have I not shared, and how can I write an inspirational, educational, or entertainment post today about one of those 5 things? And then you can come up with it. That's the point of giving you ideas that maybe you don't always have ideas of what to post, because it's a lot. And we know that, because I struggle all the time too with what to post.
Okay, so I'm gonna, if Kelly, are you okay if we like pause here on this and keep moving forward?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so guys, first of all, that Google Doc that you just got, or the Google Slides, for those of you who know Drive, that's actually now in your Drive. If you typed in it, it's in your Drive. So you have access to that in your Drive under Recents. And so just so you know, that's in that. Now, if you type on someone else's slide, it will ruin it. So don't do that. But on your own slide, it's there and you can go see what other people wrote. Now, ideally, you want to, like, if I were you, I would keep this and I would keep like adding to this list, keep a running list for yourself. And then on the days when you can't think of things to post, like, you have a wealth. And when you get good ideas or you see good ideas from other people, add them. You know, and over time, build this so that you don't have to last. Lori, don't worry about if you can't type on it. Just, you can do it on paper, whatever works for you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen and going forward. So the last part of this training is where we get to talk about our stories. And at the end of this is where we'll get to really do that upgrading your own post, right? So far, if we recap what we learned that you should be talking about the 5 things about you, right? And we've learned that there's different ways you can talk about that. You can educate, you can inspire, and you can entertain. So within all of those, you can be telling stories. And one thing that has stuck with me for all my coaching journey is the phrase, facts tell, stories sell. You do not want your post to be telling the facts. The workout's 30 minutes, that we do this 6 days a week. We use this meal plan. That can be in there. But you're going to be much more empowered and empowering for others when you tell stories. So there's 2 ways you can share your knowledge. You can push out information out, or you can pull people in with a story. And successful coaches pull people in with a story. Okay. Which, by the way, I should say, this is why with the $40 off promo code, while I loved talking about that and sharing it, like, that's not something we can regularly do or should regularly do, right? Instead, we should be sharing our stories, not promos. So if you look at the top, that's a quote from Seth Godin. I think that's how you say his name. People don't buy goods and services, they buy relationships, stories, and magic. That's what they buy. Guys, no one's buying Beachbody from you. They're buying you. So the only way that you're going to sell people on you is if you talk about you. And the person you're literally talking to, this is like the most mind-blowing thing. You're just writing posts to yourself before Beachbody. That's literally, it's an audience of one. You write the post that you needed to see before you started this journey. You don't have to think about your friend and what's going to convince them and what this person needs and what this person needs. You need to get real with that girl who you were before you started this journey, because that is the person you are talking to. And when you go to do this, there is a formula you should be following, like on the regular. Like, this is the magic formula to telling a story. You need to paint a picture of what your life was like before Beachbody. It is so much more powerful if you talk about a salient moment rather than all the things. Pick a moment. Like, and you can see I wrote here, I just couldn't go into a store and buy a larger pant size. Like, if your story is one where you were about to have, because this was where my story began. I don't even talk about it that much, but literally I was going to have to buy, I wore size 16 pants. God, I should talk about this. This is great. Anyways, I wore size 16 pants. I was about to have to go buy size 18. Size 18 is where you can't find it in stores. So I would have had to have gone into like a store for larger women. And that was like a breaking point for me, right? Like, I'm like, I gotta get this under control. Like, that was a salient moment. That's not necessarily the one I talk about. The one I normally talk about is that I watched my friend Julie lose 40 pounds in 6 months and I didn't. And I was jealous of her, which is another salient moment. You have a lot of salient moments, which means you can have a lot of iterations of the story. But you don't need to tell all the moments in the story. One moment, one thing, and paint the picture. Paint the picture. It doesn't mean it has to be long. I know I'm wordy and Kelly's wordy. The truth is, people don't actually like super wordy, so don't feel like both of us could use toning that down, to be honest. So, but you need to paint a picture that someone could understand. After that, you need to tell them what you found, but you're not telling them the products. You're not. Like, I found a solution that got me working out every day with a coach who cared about me. And I hadn't ever had someone pour into me like that before. Notice, like, I didn't say much about the products. I said about how I emotionally was able to find a solution that kept me there. That, like, you do not need to go on and on about the products. You need to connect the emotion of the solution. And then you talk about how your life is better now. And again, it's the emotion. All this is emotion. You paint out what was before. You paint a story of how it is, what you found. You paint a story of how you're better now, and then you do a call to action. You tell them something to do. They will not know that you have a boot camp coming up in 2 weeks if you don't tell them. They will not know that they're supposed to message you if they want in. They will not know to drop an emoji of a frog if you want to do frog jump with you. Whatever it is, like, they will not know unless you tell them. You must tell them what to do in order for them to do it. Like, just some inspirational post is not going to necessarily get anyone to do the things. Olivia just came in the room. Yeah. Can you take that to another room? I'm literally presenting. Anyways, so what you have here is you have a formula. Now, everyone's story is not a weight loss story. You don't need a weight loss story. If you had no weight to lose, you're not going to talk about your pant size. But I can guarantee
when I started, I had no weight loss story when I started.
I can guarantee you have a mindset story that's really freaking powerful.
Absolutely.
Or you have I needed people in my life because I was lonely. You know, you have a story. It doesn't have to be weight loss. And don't forget, you're talking to the old you. So guess what? If the old you didn't need to lose weight, you're going to be talking largely to people who don't need to lose weight. And that's okay. We're all different and we serve different types of people. So like a super fit people, I don't even relate to it. Still to this day, I'm like, I don't get you. Like, you're not my people. I want someone who struggles with eating too much chocolate. So here's a couple storytelling examples. Why, I don't know why I have Beachbody crossed out here. I think it's for, oh, I know what it was. So here's Kelly telling her story. The reason I crossed off Beachbody is because she wasn't talking about herself before Beachbody. She was actually talking about herself through the pandemic, I think, in this one, if I remember. So she didn't go all the way back to the beginning. You don't have to go all the way back to the beginning every time. Like your story iterates over time, but you are always painting a life before whatever. You're showing a solution. You're showing how it made your life better, and you're giving a call to action.
I think
Do you want to say it?
your coming out post when you're a new coach, and you can do a coming out post even when you're not a new coach. Maybe you're redefining your business or how you want to show up on social media, and share this journey. And so that you can go back and tell the story of before Beachbody, or before you started working out from home or whatever. But I've had so many before changes in the last 7.5 years that this one was about the pandemic, right? Which, how many people started their health and wellness journey at some point during the pandemic? We're still in it, right? So because of what happened during the pandemic, that's very powerful. I just saw a quote from Carl Deichler that how many people gained significant amount of weight during this pandemic. Some, I can't remember the percentage of somebody 50 pounds or more because of how they were eating and drinking and sedentary and all of these things. And so, that's huge that we had something, the whole time.
So on this post, Kelly did all the things. She talked about all 4 of those things. Here's one I did the other day. And I wasn't talking about my life necessarily before Beachbody, but I was talking about this quote that I've heard a million times, and a lot of people, it is a part of life, right? The best predictor of future behavior is your past behavior. And so I talked about then how I'm doing this cleanse, and how it went before for me. So that's my before, and then how I'm working on my mindset, right? And so my solution here is like the cleanse, but it's really my mindset, and that I'm not letting that negativity in. And this is how my life is better now. I didn't do a call to action, and I would say it was a missed opportunity. Now, every post doesn't need a call to action, don't get me wrong, but this would have been a good one. Do you want to rewrite your story? If so, message me. I have a group starting on here. Like, I could have put that very easily and it would have rounded this off. Did you want to add, Kelly?
Before you go off this, I'm going to critique Laura's post, because I think this was I remember seeing this pop up in my news feed, and I remember because I remember Michelle Bogart's comment on this post. I remember, like, it's a beautiful written post, even without the call to action. The picture does nothing. The picture was a missed opportunity, because sadly, the words that go with this, and I know why she posted that picture. Like, I know, because I know Laura, but if somebody sees this in their feed, that's not scroll stopping. Okay. For the words that go with it. If this was an education post about a recipe, which I would totally think it was, it doesn't match what she wrote. And what she wrote is too beautiful not to get somebody to stop the scroll and read what she wrote. And so that is huge too. And so, sorry, Laura, but I know you don't care.
But you're fine. You're fine.
And so the picture matters in terms of getting people to stop their scroll. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be, a professional photo. It doesn't actually, Brock Johnson and Chalene Johnson says the more less staged and those types of things that your storefront is, the better, because that's more relatable than somebody who has, professional pictures all the time and all these setup stage, I use those sometimes, but at the same time, we want real, right? I don't want people to miss these beautiful words that Laura said. So I would have loved to see a picture of maybe her with the food and like some, facial expression that's scroll stopping, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out, that I don't want this to happen to you. And I'm sure people still read her post because Laura is engaging, but I don't know if I didn't know Laura, I would not stop to read that post, if that makes sense. So I want to share that.
Absolutely. So
Oh,
here's
a
the
photo.
Kelly.
After I just said, don't do the professional photos.
Here's one of Kelly, where she is talking about her life before Beachbody, her solution, her now life's better. I don't think in this one she did a call to action. And I think anytime, if you're going to do that, the other 3 steps, that last step is an easy one to add in, right? Because you're always inviting people. Now, let me be very clear. My call to actions get me about 0 traction. It doesn't get anyone to actually take advantage of the call to action. What it does is it shows people that you have something coming up. And so when you reach out to them, they're not surprised you have something coming up.
Right.
They're not surprised you run a group. They're not surprised that you're inviting them to something because they already know you do things, right? That's why the call, like, don't hear me wrong. I have built a successful business and it has 0 to do with people messaging me saying they want to join me. Like, that's probably, those are unicorn customers that rarely exist. Most of the people you're going to invite privately, but when you do this, it shows people are not surprised when you drop in their DMs because they know this is what you're doing. I'm not reading the chat. Is there something good in there?
I have a question about
Sure.
the call to action.
Sure.
So I know a lot of people put like, drop a taco emoji if you want me to reach out or if you want more information or whatever. But if I were a person and I went back and looked, would I look at that call to action and say, not one single person dropped a taco emoji? That's why I don't do call to actions, because I'm not very good at it and I don't know how to I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So I do call to actions all the time and I get 0 people. I'll get people that comment, but they don't comment.
Okay.
So they'll be like, oh, that's a beautiful picture, or, oh, you're hilarious, or whatever. Never do I get somebody that goes, ooh, me, like
Yeah.
ever, like ever. I'm not even joking. And
Okay. So you
but I
guys are
still
using
do
the
it.
call. Oh, sorry.
But I still do it. I still do it
Okay.
because, again, like Laura said, it's not about, I look at top coaches who do this and they don't get any comments that say me. Now they might get DMs that are saying, or they do their swipe up on their stories and people sign up that way because they have that kind of a following. But I don't see other people. It's just like Laura said, it's showing that you have something to offer. So when you go invite them, they go, huh, she now, like, yes, I saw what she was talking about. I saw that she has something to offer and maybe I'll get more information privately, because
Right.
it's still very hard for people to go on a storefront and say, hey, I need help. Hey, I want to join your boot camp because I feel I hate my body or I hate myself right now. That's still, even just for them to comment with a taco or something. That's why when Laura said she does those silly posts about her taxes and people go crazy and comment, but you say, hey, you want me to help change your life so you can feel amazing as I do and love the body you live in? Crickets. They're not, because that's hard. That's hard to admit publicly, even though you live it daily, that you don't like yourself, right?
Yeah.
So the people they can tell you all they want that they pay $1 million in taxes every year and they hate it and they hate the president and they hate every person and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you ask them to tell that they hate themselves and they want to change their body. Nope.
Right. So coming out post, Kelly already kind of addressed that you can do a coming out post when you're a new coach, which you need to, but you can also do it at any time. Like, because you can come out and share where you're at, right? And show that you're open for business. So when you have a new coach, This is a really important thing. You need to be able, like, this is not just about you. You're growing a successful business, right? You need to be able to share with others this magic formula. And so notice this one has a captivating question in the beginning. 2020 was a hot mess, am I right? And then it goes from there. It has the life before Beachbody, it has the solution, it has the life is better now, and it has the call to action. All these things are in it. Just so you know, I saw someone the other day post that their meal prep, they were doing like roasting veggies, right? And they just said, oh, I'm roasting veggies. Like that easily could have turned into, you know, I didn't used to do this. Like I used to buy my veggies in cans, right? Because I didn't know they tasted better this way. But now I discovered that if I roast them for 400 degrees for 25 minutes, they taste magical. And I can't believe I didn't have that all my life. If you want to learn more about, you know, like healthy eating, you know, I have a group starting 5-3. Message me. Like you literally, it doesn't have to be these before and afters and all that. Like it can be all the little things that you do. They have a story. And so I really encourage you to tell that story.
And one thing about that coming out post, I have helped craft my new coaches or my coaches coming out posts. That is something that you might want help with. And because you're brand new to coaching, you're brand new to doing this and showing up on social media, reach out to your upline, reach out to myself, even if I'm not, reach out to people that have done this. We love to help. We want you to be successful. We want you to have people going, oh, I want more information. I have seen, what's so amazing is I have seen so many people, we just said, you know, people don't normally comment. When it's your first, because Laura and I have been doing this forever, but when it's new and it's the first time you post on social media and you share, you know, whether it's a before and after or something, people are like, oh, what are you doing? I want to know more. And they're getting people signed up from that coming out post. They're getting people to be their first customers or their first coaches on their team. And they are having very early on success, which keeps your coaches around longer. So if you need help with that, do not hesitate to reach out. This workshop is to help you, you know, on all the other times and give you some inspiration. But if you need that extra push to get started, reach out to us for help.
Right. And so I have this post that I just threw up. It was busy night, right? But like I could have made this better with a few sentences. I could have literally said, I can't believe there was a time in my life I didn't eat tilapia. Like I was crazy. Like, so glad I now eat healthier. This is amazing. My husband's a grow master. Now, the call to action, because we haven't talked about this, but a call to action can be, it doesn't have to be invite to a group. Like a call to action can be comment below if you eat fish. That's a call to act. Like you're telling them what to do. A call to action does not mean every one of your posts needs to say, come to a group. You need to do that every now and then. I would say at least once a week, that's on a post. So people always know you got a group coming up. But every post should tell someone an action to take. An action. Tell me below if you have a favorite fish recipe. Tell me below, do you have someone in your house who can grill? Tell me below, do you like fish? Like what? I don't care what you're telling them to do, but you will get more engagement when you tell them what the hell to do. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of likes or no likes. You know what I mean? But when you inspire them with what to do, that's when it happens. I made this one and I intentionally wanted to show you this. So this post, I did it because I was in a crunch and I knew I'd regret it and I regretted it. And so I want to talk about this. When the sample workout was coming out, there was this super cute picture that said it's a sample workout, right? It looks super good. It's Shaun T, it's happy, it's colorful. It says sample workout. Guess what? This crap doesn't work. And I even 5 years in, sometimes still do it. And I knew darn well, if I took a video of me doing a little dance and would have posted that, I would have gotten more people. I knew it. And I still did this. And I'm telling you right now, if you are sharing, and you'll see me do it sometimes, like I'm not saying I never do it. So whatever, because you can look at my things and you can see sometimes I've done it. I will tell you, you really should not be sharing the Beachbody crap. It should be your face. It should be your actions. It should be you. I know Sean's cool and fun. Most people don't know Sean, so that's not engaging. They know you. If you want 20 people to do a sample workout, which is what I said, I should have had a picture of me. I should have had a video of me. It should have been me. So when I said improve this post, well, I didn't spell complete right either. But when I said improve this post, like this one is a train wreck, largely because of the picture. Like, and Kelly said that earlier about a post. Like, please, I can't tell you enough. Every time you post something that is Beachbody picture, when I see it or Kelly sees it, and we even about each other, we just cringe and we just think, why did you do that? Why did you? Don't do that. Like, it's so, because it's so tempting. I swear it's like forbidden fruit. It's like this thing, like we might as well be Adam and Eve in the garden if you're like Christian, like it's tempting apple. I don't know. Like it seems like the right thing to do. It is never the right thing to do, but it will seem like it over and over and over. So Kelly, do you want to say something there?
So, and the first thing I want to say is when I talked earlier in the beginning, this is what I did when I started. So this is not uncommon that if you are a new coach and you are posting this, that is completely normal. Why Laura and I want to do this workshop today is because we want you to learn, do things differently from the outset, so to speak, that we didn't do, right? And so work smarter, not harder, like, because again, we want you to have success, because we know that when our coaches have success, they are going to stick around longer in the coaching opportunity. And so if we're not helping you with better posts and how to show up on social media and things, you're going to get frustrated because these things aren't captivating. And so when people aren't like, oh, this doesn't work, I suck at being a coach, or all those limiting beliefs that maybe you had before you started coaching are going to become true because we're not helping you cultivate a better storefront, right? And so something like this, and that's the thing, Beachbody does a great job, like, of creating really cute, posts or graphics and things, but they're so salesy Beachbody, right? And so I would maybe even put this in my story, right? Even though we don't even want to necessarily talk about, I do, like we say, do what we say, not what we do all the time. But I will sometimes say, let's get up. I'll try to talk about a lot of just the dancing program, right? Because the thing is, people will just go Google. How many times do we have leads that we reach out to and they ghost us forever and ever in a day, yet they continue to get on demand, they continue to buy products, we want to save them money because they don't want anybody holding them accountable. They just went and Googled, they saw probably somebody on somebody's post, they go sign up for Beachbody on demand, and they don't want somebody to help them. You only know that there's not coaches in this network that can help you and have accountability groups if you're living under a rock. Those people don't want help until they want help, right? So if you're posting this and you're, on your feed, they're going to go, oh, well, I want to do this. This looks really cool, but I don't want that person holding me accountable because I think I'm going to fail. So I'm going to go Google this, figure out how I can buy it on my own. And then they end up with some coach lead that they never speak to, right? So I might put this picture in a story and be like, post this little picture, then with some words and like that we're all doing the sample workout or something. But even then, I really try not to, do a lot of stuff around, the Beachbody graphics, because again, it feels salesy to me.
Right. So, and I posted this because I wanted to show you, like, the energy was so high for Let's Get Up. It was one of those tempting moments to break the rules. And it really doesn't pay. Like, you look back and you're like, why did I do it that way? I could have done it different. And so if you do this, like, it's not to shame you, it's to tell you there's a better way. And there's a way that's more authentic and that gets people, because you are what you're selling. So I think time-wise, I don't want to do the next thing with work time. I think you can do it on your own and either share it in the group or share it with your upline. But basically, remember we told you we wanted you to come with something to improve, a post to improve. I'm hoping at this point you've gotten enough in this workshop that you could improve that post. And I would love nothing more than if you like were to share that in Fit to Love, like screenshot your original post and then retype it up, whatever you want it to say, and post it so that we can, and Kelly, I hope you're okay with that, but
Yeah.
it's like almost 2 hours. So
I gotta work
So-
out, see my house.
yeah. So that is what the culminating activity was going to be. And then we did have homework. Kelly, do you still want to say the homework or do you want that to be the homework?
I think I want the homework because I think it's important.
Okay, so there's kind of like two things you should do after this. You should go improve a post, like we said. Here's the other thing though that we'd really like to see you do to move your business forward. So by Monday, so it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, right? By Monday, we'd like you to make a post about how coaching has impacted your life. And that can take on a lot of different forms. Kelly last week and myself last week did an income post specifically. It does not have to be an income post. There are a lot of ways that coaching, you should be able to write on a piece of paper what I love about coaching and come up with at least 5 things that you love. I love being supported by women. I love that I'm trying something new that I've never even thought about. I love that I'm in control of my destiny. I love, like for me, a financial one is that as a teacher, I literally have no control over what I make. And I like getting to do something where I have control over money. But there can be so many things. I love that I get to inspire others. I love that I get to pour into women. I love that I get to show up for myself. I love that the number one thing that I have to do is read personal development and become a better person. Like you have got to have your things about coaching that have improved your life. And I'm not just talking money. It can be money, but there's a lot more than just money. And craft a post about coaching. You need to be once or twice a week making posts about why coaching is amazing, not the health and fitness. That's why we said the coaching is its own category, not the health and fitness. Why is coaching something you're doing? Why would you put all this time into coaching? Paint that picture for someone. Because I guarantee you, your why for coaching is very powerful. But so often we connect to our why for our health and we miss, why are you showing, like, why did you spend 2 hours on a Saturday on this call? There's a reason you did it. And maybe it's like, I never thought I could do something like this. Or maybe I thought people who did this stuff were like unicorns and weirdos. And now I'm realizing like I had limiting beliefs and I was judging people and I didn't know it. Like this, what I'm talking about here and what we're talking about in this homework is really powerful stuff. Because if you want to grow a business that has legs, meaning you're not just selling products, you're going to have to talk about coaching. You're going to have to share that part of the journey. And so we would love to see you do this homework by Monday. You can tag us in the post so we can celebrate. You can drop it. So make sure we know, like we want to comment on this post. We want to know, and I miss all kinds of your guys' posts on social media, to be honest. So make sure we know that this happened and then take an old post and just make it better. Turn it into a story. It doesn't have to be long. It can't be long. Doesn't have to.
And the great thing about taking an old post and reposting it, making it better and reposting it, that's a post. Like you can literally take it and even if you posted it a week ago, nobody remembers what you posted a week ago, especially if you change it and you make it better. I will go back and find posts from a month ago, 2 months ago, and I will repurpose them. maybe change up if it's specific to a date or time or something, and I will use that same dang post. I might change the photo sometimes, and sometimes I use the same photo. Nobody remembers what you did a month ago, even a day ago, a week ago. We're not that special. Like, you know,
Here's something crazy. You could take that post, take a screenshot of it and say, I did a coaching training today where I learned how to tell a story
no,
better.
don't do that.
I think you could.
I don't.
Kelly doesn't like it, but I actually think you could. And I think you could share the story and say, this is what actually was going on there. And I never shared that with you the first time. So I know Kelly doesn't like it, but I do, because it shows that you're growing and it shows that you're learning. And I think that's cool. So, all right.
I wouldn't do that post, but that's where Laura and I differ. And that's
We
the
do
beauty of it. We can differ and we can have different opinions, and she does things differently and I do things differently than she does. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it.
So in closing, I really hope, like, you guys gave us 2 hours today. And I shouldn't say you gave us, you gave yourself 2 hours. Like Kelly and I were doing this no matter. So I take that back. You gave yourself 2 hours. I hope that what we provided did serve you. I hope that you're walking away from this with something to move yourself forward. Remember what I said at the beginning of this. It's not about comparing yourself to what you saw today. It's about moving your ball forward. And so if you were looking today and some of this felt like a big reach, it's totally cool. Do the reach that you can do now. This training got recorded. It's going to get posted in the page. If you know that this you need to go back through, then you need to save the link somewhere you can find it again so you can go rewatch it. Because you know it's going to get buried in the team page. You'll never find it again unless you choose to put it somewhere where you can find it. This stuff, I'm telling you, every training you get on social media, you'll hear this stuff over and over and over. And you just keep getting better in time. So, Kelly, do you have any closing words?
No, I'm just so grateful that you spent your morning with us, and especially the West Coasters that, you know, had to be up early. And I haven't even brushed my teeth, just to be really honest.
Keeping it real.
Well, I can't brush my teeth before I drink Energize. So, but now I need to drink more. But Laura and I, like, what I love, we want to serve. We want you to be successful. And so we tried to pull together, you know, what we deem really important and valuable, and that will move your business forward. And it means that you care about your business, that you showed up with us this morning. And not that the people that couldn't be on with us live don't care about their business, but I know that there's so many other things. But I remember the first time I did a training with Jimmy Hayes Nelson. I was thinking about making this a post. It was years ago, and he's in Texas. So it was a morning thing. And he is a superstar diamond coach, like best friends with Dave Ward. I knew that he is somebody I want to learn from. And I had to wake, I think it was at 7 a.m. or maybe even 6 a.m. So I think it was 8 a.m. start time in Texas. And I set my alarm and I got up, and I remember sitting at my coffee table by the fire because it was freezing and it was so early, and just dialing in to that call. And I still have the notes of that training and the things that he taught me. And I know I put them to use, right? And so it's like a full circle moment when I remember being the recipient of one of those early morning trainings going, and I did a post about it. And I said, who am I setting my alarm on a weekend to get up and learn about how to do this business? Now that's you guys. I get to be the teacher, so to speak, and the one sharing the things, but you showed up, you set your alarm and showed up for a training to move your business forward. That is huge. And so I just want you to understand that you can then have a full circle moment, you know, at some point, and share what you learned today with other people and the people that are joining you on your team and your journey. So anyway.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just keeping it in months.
Hey, Lori. You have that dazed and confused look. You're muted. Lori, you're muted. We can't hear anything.
Something.
I swear we should all have like a cup or a shirt that says, Lori, you're muted. Lori, you're muted.
Oh, I
I
must have.
forget. I tried